Hey there, this is Mike with Adventures in Flight. Thank you very much for joining me for this video presentation. I do appreciate you taking time to join me for this today. One thing I want to address real quick is the origin of the name of this channel. And you're probably saying, why is this channel called Uncle Mike's Adventures in Flight? Well, first off, I like to fly drones. Therefore, this is going to be a chronicle of the times I fly drones and also do some silly tests with them, because really a lot of the testing I do is rudimentary testing, but it's testing for my benefit, and you may find some benefit in it as well. Okay, so there's that aspect of it. And then the other aspect of the channel is I also want to document some of my travels that I have made over the years. I have a trip that my nephew and I took back in September to Victoria, British Columbia, and we went on a whale watching tour. And we also flew up on a seaplane to Victoria, to Whistler, British Columbia. And I want to share those videos as well. I just have not had a chance to get to them because they are a massive undertaking. There's a lot of hours of video captured on 3 different devices, and I just need to take the time to cull them all together. So that's really the travel aspect of this video. But I haven't explained the name part. Well, I sort of did when I mentioned my nephew. And I have 2 nephews that I am particularly close with, and my wife and I are both particularly close with. And in fact, we're so close, people don't refer to us by our first names. They just refer to us as Uncle Mike and Aunt Dee. And basically they'll say, "Oh, hey, Uncle Mike." And someone sees me in the parking lot at a grocery store. "Hey, Uncle Mike, how you doing?" Or they'll see me in a grocery store. So anyway, that's the origin of the name. Nothing creepy, nothing freaky. You know, it's a badge of honor to have that name. My wife and I were not fortunate to have kids, but having these 2 nephews around us has been one of the greatest pleasures in our life, to be able to assist my sister-in-law help raise them. All right. Now that I've got all the mushy stuff out of the way, let's get to some drone stuff, shall we? Now, you see I have this bright yellow case. What could be in this bright yellow case? Well, I've had this case for many, many months, and there's only one drone that would go in a bright yellow case like this. And you know what it is if you are a drone aficionado. That would be the Skyrover X1. Since returning from my trip down to the South Florida Drone Meetup, I have not had a chance to fly the X1. And I wanted to do it today, but this is part of the experimentation that I want to do today. And that is, I want to test this drone with filters. I did it once, and I really didn't document it for any videos that I put here on YouTube. It's just been something I did and reported, a little clip to one of the forums. I think it was on Reddit, and of course someone basically said, well, you don't need filters for this type of drone, blah blah blah, it's overkill, etc., etc. But then I saw another video this morning that basically said, well, it's not a bad idea to use filters. So today is one of these days that it's not exactly crystal clear, but it's kind of got this haze to it again, almost like the haze that we were experiencing in March with the pollen. I don't think it's that, but I think we're getting some clouds building up, and we may have some rain. So hopefully that is the case, because we desperately need rain again. And that would be very helpful. So here is the point of the mission today. So I'm going to use several filters on the X1 and basically try to determine which one is going to look the best through this experiment. and I'll outline in the post-production what type of filter I use. Now I'm going to use automatic settings. That may not be the best way to approach this, and again, I am open to suggestions in terms of what manual settings should I use. Should I use 100 exposure, 200 exposure? I know 400 is probably pushing it, and definitely 800 and 1600 is way beyond the realm because it's not dark enough for that. But I'm just curious to get your thoughts. I'm thinking it's probably somewhere between 100 and 200. I would think back to my old film days that it would probably be a 200 exposure type day. But I'll leave you to be the judge of that. All right. So that's the premise of this flight. Again, the test here is to determine how the X1 is going to do with various filters. All right, I've babbled on enough, and I've rambled on enough. Let's get to it.
Alrighty, let's get to it. And if this were a boxing match, it would be declared over. It would be a first round knockout. Um, the ND64 and 256 would be out cold, and they probably wouldn't even remember this fight. The ND16 is the clear winner, no questions asked. Obviously, the ND16 is built for days like this. The 64 and the 256 are not. Now, it was an overcast kind of day, mostly cloudy, kind of had a murky, not, I don't want to say gloomy, but it just wasn't a clear day. And the ND16 certainly met the description of the ideal filter to use for days like this. The 64 and the 256 are more designed for brighter days, um, crystal clear skies. So unfortunately, it's not going to work under those conditions. But you can see how much the blue sky is truly represented in the ND16 video. Now, about this particular mission, I know the cat's already out of the bag. I guess you could skip to the end if you want, but I do have some more interesting things to talk about during this flight. Um, so stick around. All right. The drones are the drone, I should say. It's only one drone, three different missions. They are flying on the same exact mission. They are doing the waypoint mission that I created during Easter. And that waypoint mission is basically a circuit around the second pond. And basically, the center of the pond is the point of interest. It's 304 feet above the ground, and the speed is at 20 miles per hour. I had the speed left over from the last flight due to the high wind conditions, and I decided to keep it here to keep this video at a minimum, and basically be able to go through this effortlessly in terms of getting from point A to point B. So we are now heading over the dreaded pond. And by this time, the dreaded pond video will be released, and you'll know what this all means. So if you've not had a chance to watch that video by now, please do so. It will be entertaining, to say the least. Or who knows? It will be reflective of my sense of humor. All right. We are now heading toward the second pond where we are going to do the oval with the point of interest. And this is something I really wanted to point out on this particular mission. Again, color comparison is way off the charts. There's no comparing, no comparison between the three. But there is something I do want to point out when we start traveling over this second pond and begin the point of interest mission here. And I think it's kind of interesting. to say the least. And that is the day that I flew the X1, we were experiencing high wind conditions. And this drone is rated, I think it's a category 5, where it's rated up to 25 miles per hour. And the winds were slightly over that. Now, throughout this part, I kept my eye on the speed and made sure that the speeds were appropriate and everything was fine. I mean, obviously, the drone drops down in speed when it gets to a certain point. But if you notice at this specific point, and all three are now showing the same shot, on the day of the wind test, the speed was roughly at 1 mile per hour. Today, the speed was around 11 miles per hour. So that's how big of a wind difference it made. And the wind on that day of the test was at the back of the drone. So keep that in mind. And obviously, if you're doing waypoint missions and using a point of interest, and you've got heavy winds, I think that makes a huge, huge, huge difference. And you certainly need to be cautious about um, what you're doing with that, because again, the most fearful thing that could have occurred was the drone coming to a complete stop and falling out of the sky. But we don't have that worry here today. Um, the winds were rated at 23 miles per hour when this RAN test started. All right. Well, anyway, again, back to the filters. The ND16 is your clear winner. And obviously, this will be the filter of choice on days like today. All right. I do have some closing comments. And if you don't mind, please stick around for those. And we'll take it from there.
All right, well, that's going to conclude this particular test. This is like the 10th or so outro that I've attempted to record, and there have been many distractions that have taken place during this time. Some of those distractions have been from some of the neighbor kids who have been a little obnoxious and what have you, and I think it might be their first time being left alone by their parents, and God forbid what mayhem is going to occur tonight with them, and hopefully it's nothing too severe. But anyway, I digress. So again, back to the conclusion of this test. I had an outro originally recorded, originally was going to publish, but that outro left no conclusion. It basically said, well, I'm not able to tell because I was looking through my phone and everything was too bright, and I'll have to look and see exactly which one was the best filter for the X1, especially under these conditions. Well, through the benefit of post-production and being able to view all three videos side by side, I basically can say with absolute confidence the ND16 filter delivered the goods in terms of color quality and everything else that came with that. The other two filters were a little too washed out, and I know that those two filters are designed for extremely bright conditions. On a day like this, the ND16 filter is ideal for days like this. So lesson learned here, the ND16 filter delivered, it was great. Someone once told me that using filters is overkill on a drone, especially if you use automatic settings. Well, today was a prime example. When you use automatic settings and you use filters, you can tell a world of difference between the three videos. So my conclusion here is maybe I will start incorporating filters into my videos. Now, another confession. I've only used the ND16 filter once, and that was when I first got it. And quite frankly, I'm going to tell you, I didn't know what I was doing. The reason why is, when I started flying drones 4 years ago, I had no need for filters. So not a big deal, but people told me maybe you want to consider getting filters for your drone. So I started with the with the Skyrover X1, and then as I purchased the Mini 5 Pro and also the Air 3S, those came with filters. But I have to say, I've never used those filters during any of my flights. Today was the first extended flight of ever using filters. And again, it made the world of difference using the ND16 filter. So my conclusion here is, if you have the ability to use a filter, maybe you should consider using it. And maybe it will help you capture some great colors. I may have to consider that for some of my sunset videos and pictures coming up in the near future. We'll see what happens with that. But anyway, the conclusion here, the ND16 filter on a day like this was perfect. All right, now that I've gotten all of that out of my system, and I think this video, this outro is going to stick, let me conclude by saying thank you to all the people who are subscribers here. I really appreciate you being a part of this. If you're not a subscriber, I hope this video was informative and maybe taught you something, or maybe you will teach me and tell me I should never use filters. But regardless, I hope this was interesting and provided some insight with regard to the use of filters. Again, this is a learning experience for me, and I hope there's something you can take away from this as well. And if you're not a subscriber, please hop on board. If this type of content interests you, that's what we're here for, is to make videos like this, learning videos, because quite frankly, I'm not the expert. There are other people online who are the experts. I'm just a mere leisure pilot. I do this strictly for fun. I am by no means a professional, although I have begun work on getting my 107, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, all right. And there's one other thing I'll ask you, and that is, if you could, please give me a thumbs up on this video. If you like the content, I would appreciate it very much. All right, this is Mike. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye for now.